everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new then hi, my name is Caitlin, welcome, and today is actually the first video that I'm filming in this new little setup. I know this isn't the first video that you've seen it, but for me it is a brand new experience. I've got a lot less room than I'm used to, but that's okay, we're making it work. I feel on camera it feels like a little like cozy cave kind of thing. I don't know, tell me what you think, because I've struggled a lot. I've struggled a lot trying to put this together, but hopefully it looks okay on camera. I hope so anyway. But today we're going to be doing a really exciting video. I got this video idea from Laura Force here on YouTube, and that is telling you guys my favourite and least favourite shade from all of my palettes. Now I have 43 palettes, I think I counted. I counted and then forgot. That's just me in a nutshell. But here we go. We've got about 43 there or thereabouts. And I'm going to be swatching all of my favourite shades on this arm and then all of my least favourite shades on this arm. Hopefully I've got enough room. I didn't really think of that. I'll swatch up here if need be. I don't have anywhere to go today, so that's fine. I also want to talk about this eye look. I did this eye look using all 4 of my Pan Those eyeshadow shades, which is amazing. To get a look using all 4 of them is like thumbs up, so you'll probably be seeing a lot more looks like this, or you've probably already seen them because I am pre-filming. Oh, the power of YouTube. Anyway, let's get on with it. But just before we do, if you have not already, please like and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. And again, tell me what you think about this new setup. Oh, it's not new to you, I keep forgetting. Anyway, palette number 1. This is my good old Modern Renaissance palette. And this is what it looks like inside. So as you can see, there is a lot of neutral shades, some pinks, which I mean, I guess you'll kind of already know what my least favourite shade is. But my favourite shade is actually this shade here. This is called Warm Taupe. This is what it looks like swatched. It is just your kind of average cool tone mid-brown, but it's just got something about it. Whenever I put this on my lid and through my crease as like a one and done look, I just feel really put together, really sophisticated, just really good about myself, and that's what this shade can give me. I don't know, I just really enjoy it. I should have probably got a towel. That would have been a good idea. Ooh. So I don't think there's any surprise that my least favourite shade in this palette is Love Letter, which is this bright matte fuchsia shade. I don't like pinks. If you're new, hi, I'm Caitlin. I don't like pinks. This is a very bright fuchsia pink matte kind of shade. It does go on a little bit patchy and it also has micro glitters. So I mean it's a 3-in-1 hatred really. I don't like micro glitters, I don't like pinks, and I also don't like patchy mattes. So there you go, that is palette number 1. Palette number 2 is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette, and of course, my favourite shade in this palette is Electric, which is the most gorgeous green to brown duochrome. It is so shimmery, so sparkly. It transforms a look. It is absolutely stunning. I love it. And like these two together, oh my god, love. It goes with cool tones, it goes with warm tones. It's just beautiful. It is everything I could ever ask for in like a duochrome. And I feel like this is one of the only times that mainstream makeup brands have got duochromes right. Because, oh my god, Urban Decay. I mean, Urban Decay, just Urban Decay. Now my least favourite shade in this palette is actually Edge. So it is a yellow, but it's got almost like a blueness to it. I don't know. How do I even describe this? It's just got like a pukey, greeny blueness to it, and I don't like it. I've swatched that shade out there, just below Love Letter. It's hard to work with because I don't really know how to pair it with the palette because it's so, I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. It's got like a blueness to it even though it is a matte, but like I just don't know how to work with that shade at all. So yeah, Edge I don't know how to work with you. Next is my Soft Glam palette. We're kind of going through all the ABH shades first, and this is what it looks like. My favourite shade is actually Dusty Rose, which is this shade here. And it's very similar reason for Warm Taupe. You can see there it's swatched out. It is more of a rosy, dusty version of Rose Taupe. This whole palette is so warm toned. However, if you use Dusty Rose, that is the only shade that pulls it more cool tone, and I really love my cool tones recently, so that is why this is my favourite shade. It just adds something that the other shades just don't add. And then, of course, take a guess what my least favourite shade is. If you chose Rose Pink, you are absolutely correct. It is a beautiful shade if you do like pinks. I just don't. That's the only... I can't say anything else. I just don't like pinks. How many times am I going to say that in this video? Who knows? Next is my Book of Magic palette. This is what it looks like. And my favourite shade, you may think it's Crystal, but it's actually not. It's Spell. I just think that Crystal lacks. I don't know what it lacks, it just lacks. Spell is the most beautiful, vibrant turquoise blue shimmer, and I love it. I don't have anything like this in my collection, even though I do have the High Tide palette from Colourpop. This is just so much more vibrant and so much more poppy and just so much better, I think, than anything else that I have. I really, really love it. Crystal is just a little bit thin. That's the only way I can describe it. It just feels thin to me. There's not a lot of base pigment. It's more just like a topper. But this shade is so beautiful. And my least favourite shade, I actually have written down in my notes one of these purple shades, but I'm actually going to change my mind. It's actually Moonlight, which is this white shade. This is so thick. And again, it doesn't really have a base to it. I hope you can, well, I don't even know if you can see it there, and if you can't, it just proves my point. It's like, I try and put this in the inner corner, but it just doesn't pick up with a brush, first of all. It's so thick and creamy that, like, I don't know, I just really don't like it. I don't really know what purpose this is supposed to have, but, okay. It's just so lackluster, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Now we have my Sunset Horizons. Again, this is a palette I'm pretty underwhelmed by anyway. So you may think at first glance that this bright blue shimmer is going to be my favourite, but it's actually Deep, which is next to it. This shade is so unique. It is like a periwinkle. So there is a swatch of that shade. It is so different. Again, I try and pick shades that are very different and unique in my collection, and this shade is definitely one of them. I just think it offers something so vibrant and fun. Even though I don't reach for like periwinkly kind of shades often, I don't have anything like this in my collection. It is so different, it's so unique, and it just makes me so happy. And my least favourite, it's got to be one of these three pinks, but in the end I chose Cocktail, which is this shimmery, like, hot pink. I don't think I've even put this on my eyes. It's got like a red base to it, but it is like a shimmery pink. I'd never wear these shades. The only time I'd really wear pinks is in the crease, and that means they have to be a matte, because I don't put shimmers in my crease, but it's personal preference for me, this one really. Next we have the W7 Total Eclipse. This is a dupe for the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. As you can see, all my palettes are falling. My favourite shade is the shade Orion. This was in a Pan Those Eyeshadows project maybe last year? Yeah, it was last year. Time flies. That is the shade swatched out. I'm not sure if you can see because it is more of like a topper, iridescent kind of shade, but it is just magical. It's got blue in it, it's got pink in it, it's got the tiniest bit of green in it. It is absolutely wonderful, and this whole colour story is just like, speaking to me. This one obviously is not, but this colour story, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I've tried it on my nails, beautiful on my nails, lovely, love it. And my least favourite shade is the shade Oracle, which is this like baby pastel kind of pink. It just it makes me look sick. So that's it swatched out there. It makes me look ill. It's got like quite a white base to it. It just does not make me look good at all. So yeah, that's that. Next we have an old favourite on this channel. This is my Sofx Revolution palette. She's beaten up. She is beaten and bruised. My favourite shade is this shade, which is Pine Tree. I've just swatched it out on my hand for you there. It's just like an army green kind of shade. It's so different as well. It's got like a very dark base to it. Obviously a shimmer. And my least favourite shade, you can probably tell because it's one of the only ones without pan, it is this shade, Mixed Berries. I really have a hatred for very warm toned, almost reddy purples. It just, I mean, the pigmentation isn't great either. I think that's just because it's so old. That is what that shade looks like. No. No. Yeah, there is definitely a theme here. Definitely a theme. It's just, yeah, warm tone purples, especially when they're so like red based, it makes me ill. I'm sorry. Next we have this bad boy. We're going to be clearing a lot of room on my desk with this one, I can tell. This, is the palette, and my favourite shade is Make Waves. I'm going to lean it on my head. This very like mid-tone matte blue. It's just magical. The pigmentation on this is ridiculous, first of all. Look at that. That pigmentation is madness. You have to dip your brush in once, and now my finger is stained. So that's cute. Yeah, anytime I want to do a blue look and I'm stuck for what to do, which is pretty much never, to be honest, because I do have a lot of blues in my collection. But this is one of my go-to blue look shades. It's just beautiful. It is so vibrant. It is so pigmented. I just love it every time I put it on my eyes. And my least favourite shade is this shade here, which is called Pink Me. At first when I got... Oh, I swatched it on the wrong hand. At first when I got this palette, I actually thought that this shade had like shattered. And it was just like the pan, because it looks so like cardboard in the pan. But no, it is a shade. This is not only lackluster, it's like a satin, which first of all, no. And second of all, it's like a kind of duochrome white to pink, but the impact, I think you can see on camera, the impact is just not, it's just nothing. It comes off as nothing on the eyes. It's just so lackluster. I really don't enjoy that shade. And now I can actually move because we got rid of that palette. Next is one of my favourite palettes, is the Bella Pierre's All Stars palette. And this is what it looks like inside. So, my favourite shade, no brainer, this beautiful shimmery blue. I barely touched it, and just look at that pigment. Oh my days. So this is what that shade looks like. It is a very wonky swatch, first of all. Sorry. I'm going to try and swatch like this now because I can tell that they're kind of veering off to the side. But this blue is something else. This is what my dreams are made of. It is stunning. It is so metallic and pigmented and beautiful. That's all I can say about it. We've definitely got a theme going. I mean, what can I say? And my least favourite shade is this shade. It is like a shimmery pink, but it's a very different kind of shimmer. It's more of like a subtle shimmer. It's not got as much like oomph to it. That's all I can kind of describe it as. You even see that. Compared to the other shades, it's just a bit lackluster. And obviously it's a pink, so I'm not going to want to use it anyway. Now, the Violet Voss Nicole Concilio palette. This is what it looks like. And my favourite shade isn't the blue. It's this shade. It's the shade Palm Tree. This was in a pan those eyeshadows not that long ago, and I just fell in love with it. It reminds me a lot of Electric. Let me swatch that there for you. Yeah, you can see it reminds me a lot of Electric, but it's got more of like a base to it. Electric is this shade up here. It's got almost like an iridescent base to it, but this shade really packs a punch. Like, you can see how metallic it is. In some lights it's gold, in some lights it's green, in some lights it's both. It is just beautiful. And that's what I love about Pan Those eyeshadows. I get shades that I've completely neglected and I just fall in love with them again. I love it. And my least favourite shade, again, this is going to be a surprise, it's actually NYC. Now, NYC in the pan looks white, however, it does have a blue shift to it, if you can call it a shift. It just looks like a mess, basically. Can you see that? It looks so lackluster. It looks chalky. It looks like it's not supposed to be there. It just, oh, I don't like it. Like, can you even tell that that's supposed to be a shimmer? No. Good luck trying to lighten your inner corners with that, because it will just look like chalk. Don't like it. Now we have my Nabla Cutie Platinum palette. We can all tell what my favourite shade is. It is Luxuriance. This, watch this. I'm gonna, boop. I mean, come on. This is stunning. This takes my breath away every single time. It's just absolutely incredible. It's insane. This is probably one of the shimmeriest shimmers that I have in my collection. It is absolutely, it's so hard to show you on an arm instead of a hand because the arm is so much less mobile. But this shimmer, it takes my heart. It really does. It looks like it could come from outer space. I mean, I will buy this palette just for that shade. My least favourite shade is actually the shade Priceless. It's this gold. I feel like I can make a look with that. With this covered up, I can make a really beautiful look. But then you throw this in and it just confuses me because this is, obviously it's a cool tone gold, but it still pulls a little bit warm. So I don't really know how it works, and the pigmentation is just not the same either. Like, you can see it there. It's just like, oh, okay. Build it up a little bit more for you. It's okay, it's fine, it's nothing life-changing. It's just like the odd one out of this palette, I feel if you cover this up, it's all very cohesive, and then you take that away and it's just like, what? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Alright, so now we're moving on to Juvia's Place, and first we're going to go in with the Warrior. This is what my palette looks like, and my favourite shade, let me just look at my notes. Yeah, it's this middle shade, Moremi? There you go. It is so blinding. You can use this as a highlighter if you're feeling brave. Let us swatch it right here. It's just so blinding and so impactful. This on the inner corner, you're beaming for days. You are a star in the sky, off on an adventure. This is incredible. My least favourite shade is this shade, Ida. It's just such like it's a dark shimmer, first of all, which I don't really play with. I mean, I can't say anything, I've got so many dark shimmers. But this, I mean, the pigmentation is incredible. Like, I just swatched it there, it's like molten gold. It's just the shade, like, it's a warm toned, quite a dark gold. I'm not into that. I'm more into my cool tones. I'm more into my grungy, greeny kind of shades. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I should say some of these palettes, I love all the shades, and I've just had to like pick a shade for the sake of this video. Okay, Saharan 2. This is what it looks like. My favourite shade, you can probably guess, is this shade Berber. It is a beautiful shimmery blue. So pigmented, so impactful. Just a beautiful, you can see on the swatch there, it is stunning. It is so pigmented. I cannot fault it at all. And my least favourite shade is Zora, which is this middle matte. It feels, just feeling it, it feels so dry. And it's like a red-based, bright, vibrant pink. You can see it swatched there. You can see how dry it is, even from the swatch. It's just not very creamy at all. It's just a bit grainy almost. Don't like that. You can, yeah, there's such a theme in these. But yeah, moving on. The Zulu, we all know. Come on, I'm not even gonna pretend. My favourite is this shimmery blue. We've got Pan on it. And let me swatch that right under there. This is the shade Beautiful, Shimmery, Amazing. And then, of course, my least favourite is this matte pink. I had this in a Pan Those eyeshadows for like a month, and that was enough for me. That was it. That was enough. That's very similar to the other shade, actually. You can see it there. It's a bit more vibrant, but it is quite similar. Okay, so that is one box of eyeshadow done. We've got a lot more to go. We've got a lot. Okay, so next we have my Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions. I rarely reach for this. I need to put this in like a Project 10 uses or something because I want to get more use out of this. My favourite shade, let me check, is shade number 7, which is this shade here. I was gonna put this middle shade, but I didn't want to be too, like, predictable. That's the word. I'm gonna swatch it. We are really running out of room now. So this shade, if you pair it with a shade like Dusty Rose up here, can make a very, like, I don't know, neutral look. But then when you really look at it, you're like, oh, it's like a little bit of like pinky tone in it, which is the kind of pinks I like. I like the pink tones that you really got to look and go, oh, there is actually something different about that shade. Shades like this, which are just pink, is like, woo, it's a bit too much. I don't like that. I like a little bit of a more grungy, subtle pink. And this is what this can give me. Or on its own, it is kind of neutral enough to just be paired with more neutral taupey shades. But yeah, I just really enjoy it. And my least favourite shade is this second shade. It is like, it's like what I was saying with Mixed Berries. It is a little bit too red based for me. There we go. That is it swatched out at the bottom there. And it's pretty lackluster as well. These Huda shimmers in the Obsessions palettes are very lackluster. It's just like, eh. Next, this may be familiar. This is my e.l.f. Truffles palette. This is my Pan That palette. Again, I am pre-filming, so this probably looks a little bit different. A little bit more used in the update that I just posted, but definitely go and see that if you have not already. My favourite shade is actually this second one here. This is hard to swatch, first of all. But this is exactly what I was talking about with this Mauve Obsession shade. If you blended that out with this kind of shade, it just makes a beautiful, neutral look with a slight grungy pinky feel to it, and that's what I enjoy. My least favourite shade is actually this shimmer. I just feel like it's a one-trick pony. Like, if you're going to use this shimmer, all your looks are going to look pretty much the same. And it is a little lackluster as well, so that is what that one looks like. Alright, so now we're getting on to my Colourpop palettes. This is such a long video, oh my god. This is my main squeeze palette. I rarely reach for this, if I'm honest. This was really hard to figure out because I don't actually know this palette very well. But judging from my my experience, I'm going to pick this shade as my favourite. This is the shade Red Bottoms. This I used to incorporate in neutral looks quite a lot. Instead of like a kind of dark brown, I would put this on first and then blend it out with some murky yellows. It just looked really beautiful. So yeah, that's what I'm going to pick for my favourite shade. And my least favourite shade is this shade. It's Home Slice. It is very vibrant, but that's not the reason why. It's got like micro glitters in it, and not only that, it feels very dry and it gets hard pan very quickly. I'm running out of room on my arm. It also can pull very pink, so don't like that, of course. There you go. That is what it looks like. Oh my god. Wow. This is a mess. Next we have Orange You Glad, and now I'm not going to swatch my least favourite shade because it is the pressed glitter and it will go everywhere. So my favourite shade in this palette is Mimosa Mammy. It is this vibrant, it's not even coming off that vibrant on camera. It is like a neon kind of orange. This is a one shadow look in the summertime. Let me tell you, is so beautiful. This with a little bit of shimmer on the lid and then like a big wing liner and some big lashes. Oh, love it. And then obviously Clementine is my least favourite, but it is a pressed glitter, so I'm not messing with that. Next is the Aha Honey palette. It is the yellow monochromatic palette. My favourite shade is Dandy, which is this shade here. It is I've literally just tapped it. Look at that. Oh my goodness me. This is such an impactful yellow gold kind of shade. Look at that. Look, oh my god. All my dreams have come true. It's just beautiful. It is so impactful, so bright. I can't even. Oh, And then once again, my least favourite is the pressed glitter. Literally just because it's a pressed glitter. I don't use them. I don't like them. They irritate my eyes. You know the drill. Alright, next, Just My Look. My favourite shade in here is actually Mary Jane. And again, this was in a Pan Those Eyeshadows not that long ago, like a month ago. Fell in love. It is like a kind of lime green shimmer. This with pretty much any look on the inner corner or on the lower lash line makes it so much more interesting, and that's what I love, just interesting looks, because this definitely gives it that. It goes with pretty much anything. It's just gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And my least favourite shade is Mo Bamba, which is this one below it. It's got micro glitters in it, which first of all, no, why? Stop. And it is so similar to the shade next to it. It just doesn't need to be there. I don't think I've ever actually put it on my eyes, which says a lot. And that is it swatched. It's a little patchy, but yeah, not a fan of that. Next is Blue Moon, one of my absolute favourite palettes, and my favourite shade is Lumi. It has to be. It is what that Violet Voss shade, I'm going to start swatching here actually. It's what that Violet Voss shade wanted to be, but it just got nowhere near this. This is the most vibrant blue shift in my collection. I adore it. And this was really hard to pick a least favourite shade because I genuinely, truly love all of these shades. But I tried to go on the shade that I reached for the least, and that is Billie Jean. I hate that. It's like picking between my children. This is it swatched right there. As you can tell, it is so pigmented. It's just like a bit too close to this kind of shade. You know, it's just, it's not as vibrant. If I'm reaching for this palette, I want to go vibrant blue, and this is just not. It's quite toned down. I hated picking a least favourite shade in that. I didn't like it. Next is the It's My Pleasure palette, and my favourite shade is Mr. Sandman. This can be put on like a neutral look and still look beautiful. This is what it looks like there. It's like a duochrome. Is it a duochrome? I don't know. It's just so beautiful. It's like a brown to purple kind of shift. Love it. Beautiful. It goes with neutral looks. Still isn't the thing that I would reach for over anything else, because obviously purples aren't my go-to, but I mean, if I had to pick, that is the shade. My least favourite, Bare Minimum. Again, it's this really warm toned purple shimmer. It's not, no. Reminds me so much of Mixed Berries. Hate it. Never, ever, ever want to reach for that. Next, the That's Taupe palette. This is very neglected in my collection. I just don't reach for neutrals much, but the favourite shade, obviously, is Slated. I mean, look at that. Ugh. This almost has like an iridescent base, and it just has like pure shimmer in it. Gorgeous. 10 out of 10. Love. My least favourite shade is this shade called Constrictor. It's just a little bit too dark for me. I don't know. It's kind of, it's got like an almost a black base to it. I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't want to reach for it. I prefer to have like lighter shimmers on my lid. I just don't, no. Next is my Baroque palette, and this was hard to pick because honestly, I don't really like any of these shades. I don't know why I keep them. I do. I know why I keep it. I have this collector's mentality with Colourpop, but see, honestly, this palette I really could declutter and not really care about, but I'm not going to do that because I'm a hoarder. My favourite shade is Stunner, which is this corner matte here. It has like a blueness to it that when you blend it out, it will pull quite blue, which I mean, me and blues. Come on. And my least favourite shade, it had to be one of the glittery shades. It's got to be Grand. It's like this black with like purple glitter in it, which like just why? Stop, Colourpop. Please stop. That is what it looks like. It's, oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much. It just makes me not want to reach for this palette. 3 out of the 9 shades are sequin shades. If I'd have known that, I would not have bought it. Next is Making Mauves, and this is Mauve on Top, which is so shimmery. This, again, it's like one of them, it's a pink, but like you can easily incorporate this kind of shade into neutral looks and it won't take over the look, which I really enjoy. And I mean, look at the metallicness of that. And my least favourite shade is Tongue Tied. This, again, this shade is exactly the same as Solitaire, which is up here, but this just has micro glitters in it. Why? Don't want micro glitters. Makes me very sad. And that is that one swatched out there. I know what you're going to say, like, oh, you can blend out micro glitters. I don't want to. I don't want to go through that effort. Look at all these swatches. Wow. Next we have my Elsa palette, and this is going to be a little bit of a surprise to you. My favourite shade is actually Northern Lights. It's not water, which you would think it is. This shade has been named appropriately. It looks like the Northern Lights. It has all the colours of the Northern Lights. It's got pink, it's got blue, it's got green. It's so shimmery and metallic. Love it. And my least favourite shade, it's not actually the pressed glitter. It's Awakened. Again, Colourpop, why do you do this? You put 2 identical shades in a palette and then just put one with pressed glitter in it. Why? It's infuriating. It just makes me think it's like a wasted shade. And like, it's just like, oh God, it's not great. So yeah, there we go. Next is the High Tide palette. I love this palette, and my favourite shade is the shade Urchin. It's this matte shade. It is just so vibrant. It's just perfect. I mean, oh, look at that. This is what I want when I reach for teal. I want this vibrant, beautiful, amazing, incredible, fantastic, vibrant matte. And this is what that gives. My least favourite shade is Muscle Beach. I've learned I hate blue to like brown duochromes. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Can't do it. It just looks muddy. Like, what about that looks nice? It looks like swampy, horrible, like Shrek water. That's all I can, no. I wish I'd found that out earlier, because one of these next palettes in a little bit really hurt me, because I didn't know that. Next up is the Mardi Gras palette. I have not played around with this nearly enough, but this is what it looks like. It's a dupe of the Love Tahiti. I love the shade Sapphire. It is beautiful. I had this in a Project 10 Uses quite a while ago. I mean, these don't swatch very well, but on the eyes they look beautiful. This is that shade. It's not just a dark blue, it's got a hint of purple in it. It just makes it very unique. But yeah, as I was saying, I had this in a Project 10 Uses a long time ago, and pretty much the whole 10 Uses were just blue looks using them shades. It was just these 3 shades in the corner, and I would always do a look using them. I love them. And then, of course, Feathers. It's the same. It's this like red-based purple shimmer. No. No, thank you. That may float your boat, does not float mine. Okay, we're on the home stretch now, I promise. The next palette is the Wilderness palette. I forgot to write this down with my other Beauty Bay palettes, but this is what it looks like. My favourite shade is actually this shade. It's not one of the blues. It's this shade called Breeze. It's just so different. It's the perfect teal shimmer. I know I've said that about a few, but like, watch this, watch this. You ready? Wow. Boosh. That's one swatch. It is so pigmented. It just makes my dreams come true. And my least favourite shade is this shade Heat. It's just not impactful at all. Like, even feeling it as I'm swatching it, it feels so dense. It does not feel like the other shimmers in this palette. It's really lackluster. There we go. It almost feels like a matte with shimmer in it, but it's not. It's meant to be a shimmer, I think. Yeah, I just don't like it. I was really disappointed. I did a Get Ready With Me with this about a month ago. Very disappointed. Did not like it. Next, more Huda Beauty. This is the Wild Jaguar palette. My favourite shade is this middle shade. It feels so thin. Oh my god, wow. Feels so thin, first of all. Look at that. Wow. Let's swatch it right there. Oh yeah. It's like a purple to yellow duochrome. Stunning. Stunning. It's got so much like shimmer running through it as well. Wow. And my least favourite shade is this 9th shade down here. It's just chunky. I don't know. It's just not very pigmented. Chunky. Not the best. I mean, it swatches great. On the eyes, I don't know. You can't really like put that much force on your eyes, otherwise you will like gouge your eye out. I think that's what this one needs. It needs you to like gouge your eye out with the amount of force that's needed, and I'm not about that. Oh, I guess in my notes I just decided to put the pumpkin spice next. Any rhyme or reason? No. Just smelling this palette. This is the pumpkin spice palette. My favourite shade is actually this kind of pukey greeny matte shade. It's called Sweetie Pie. And that is what this one looks like. It's like, it's unique, first of all. It's very unique in my collection. I've got a very itchy ear. I'm very sorry. It's just so pigmented. The mattes in this are definitely the selling point for this palette. The shimmers are very disappointing. But this shade, it gives me an escape from all like the warm pinky shades. It just gives me something else. The shade I hate is PSL and Chill, this purple. It gets so much hard pan on it that you just have to scrape off every time you use it. It's very disappointing. It's just chunky. Look how, can you see how chunky that is? Ooh. Eesh. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's a struggle. It's a struggle to use that one. Don't like that. Now for my green obsessions, my favourite shade is this middle shade here. It's like a blue to yellow almost shade. It's a really nice topper. Try and swatch that there. Hopefully you can see it. To be honest, I am falling out of love with this palette. The more I kind of reach for indie shades and indie shadows, this just, it's a little lackluster, really, as you can probably tell. And my least favourite shade is this matte kind of salmon-y pink. Are we surprised? Nope. That is what this one looks like. Pigmentation is okay, I guess. Then my orange obsessions, my favourite shade is actually this like vibrant orange in the corner here. It's orange, but it's got the tiniest bit of like neon pink in it. Whoosh. That's what that one looks like. It's very, very nice. I'm trying to like hurry it along now because my camera battery is like about to fail. And my least favourite shade is this like neon pink shimmer. For reasons stated. It's very chunky as well. Let's swatch that there. I don't know. It's just not great. Alright, this is what I was talking about. This is the disappointment. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Star. I don't get rid of this because it's got a lot of sentimental value. I won't go into it, but it just does. I got it for this shade, and I hate this shade. I hate it so much. This does not show blue at all on the eye. I really don't know where we're supposed to be swatching. I'll just do it there. This is what it looks like. It just looks browny, muddy, swampy on the eye. It doesn't look blue at all. That's why I bought it. So my favourite shade is actually this gold. Like, even this gold, it's alright. Like, I do not get the hype with this palette at all. But that is what that gold looks like. Like, Next is my custom Lethal palette. This is what it looks like. My favourite shade is this shade here. It's like a mid-tone, beautiful blue. Look how stunning that is. Oh. And my least favourite shade is this silver. I don't really know why I put the silver in. Well, I do. But, like, I wouldn't put it in again if I had the choice. It's just a kind of lackluster grey. Not great. Next, Morphe Khaki Calling. I haven't played around with this too much, but so far my favourite shade is this shade. It's like a green shimmer, but it's quite a light shimmer, so you can kind of put it on your inner corner. This on the inner corner of neutral looks is just stunning. Then my least favourite shade, it just had to be one of these. You did not need both of these browns in here, so I just went with this mid-toned one. I mean, they're both mid-toned. They are both the same. You do not need both of them in this palette at all. Next is Smoke and Shadow, which looks like this. My favourite shade is this shimmer up here. It's just got like a rosiness to it, which is quite different. I do enjoy that. And my least favourite shade is this, again with the micro shimmers. It's like a black, which we already have here. But let's just throw another one in and put some shimmer in it. Like, why? I don't know. Next is the Circle of Life palette from Revolution and The Lion King. I actually watched The Lion King last night. Love it. My favourite shade is actually Shenzi, for very similar reasons to the Modern Renaissance. I'll swatch that there. It's just like a one and done, easy shade to kind of work with. You can see it on my shoulder. And then my least favourite shade is Bonsai, which is this shade. It can pull quite pink, and it's so thick. Like, the shimmers in these are just so thick. And that is what it looks like there. I just don't wear reds that much, really. Next, the Nala palette, the Jungle Princess. Favourite shade, Main Gal. I wish all of these shimmers were this formula. It's like a flaky... Oh, I hope you can see that. It's a flaky formula, but in a good way. Look at that. Wow. And then my least favourite is Royal. Watch this swatch. You're watching? I'm going to swatch it here. Are you ready? Oh, boom. Where is it? Let's try again. Oh, boom. Where is it? Can you see? Oh. Yeah, I rest my case. There you go. 3 more to go. This is the Chromosome palette, and of course I had to pick this stunning cream duochrome. Can you even see that? There you go. You can see that now. Wow! You can see all the flips in it. Whoosh! Beautiful. And my least favourite shade is this. Again, what is it with micro shimmers? Leave them out. I don't like it. Micro shimmers are the pain of my life. Alright, and now my newest 2 palettes. This is the Winter Wonderland palette from P. Louise, and my favourite shade is this. It's the shade Snow in Love. And it is such a nice duochrome. Swatch it here. Whoosh. There you go. You can see all the different flips in that. So beautiful. And my least favourite shade is Candy Kiss. This is like a really pastel purple, but like it can come across as a bit nothing and a bit just white. Let's swatch that here. Like on my skin tone it just doesn't really do much. And then finally, the last palette. This is the Stack 'em Up palette, and my favourite shade is Get Up and Grind. It is very similar to Lumi, it's just a little bit more flaky almost. Let's pop that there. It's got a little bit of yellow to it as well. Yeah, right there. You can see, I hope. And finally, my least favourite shade is Payday, which is this purple shade, because, I don't know, I just don't like purples. Let's watch that there. Can you see that? Boom. Right there. Oh my god, that was a long video. Okay. So that is the end of this video, guys. If you made it this far, you are a saint. You truly are a saint. I praise you. Wow, well done. I'm going to leave it here because I need a strepsil after that. All that talking was a lot. This is probably my longest video on my channel. But yeah, I hope you did enjoy it, guys. If you like this new setup, let me know. If you hate it, also let me know, because I wouldn't want that. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!